Scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a 9x12 process video using the Cocoa Daisy Book Club kits. And these kits are very bookish and coffee and tea themed, but I am not going anywhere near those themes with this collection because it's also very versatile, especially when it comes to the papers. They're not most of them are not very bookish or coffee themed. They are very almost fallish. They're very kind of fallish themed. And this photo is not from fall, but the colors are going to play perfectly with these golden tones and reds and yellows and oranges and all of that. So these are two photos. This is actually half of a spread. The Project Life pocket spread will be next week, and these are two photos that I wanted to highlight from that spread. And I pulled out a bunch of papers for the background because the Cocoa Daisy kits do not come with 12x12 papers anymore. So this is actually a paper that was included in a Cocoa Daisy collection, like a paper add-on before they stopped doing those. And I actually didn't know what to do with this paper when I got it, but now it's going to work beautifully for this layout. So I am trimming it down to 9x12. I had to take off some of those butterflies to do it, but I wanted the bulk of the butterflies to be down there near the bottom of the page, so I cut it off from each side, and I'm actually going to use some of those butterflies that I cut off later. Now I'm going to map my photos, and I really loved this beautiful chevron paper, and I also really wanted to use the vellum paper right there with the golden. You can't really tell on film, but the dark spots on that vellum are gold foil, so it just really played into that sunburst feel on the photos. And then the card says, "But these are the days we dream about when the sunlight paints us golden," which I don't know about you, but that might be the perfect quote for these photos. So I had to incorporate that as well. So I'm trying to work out how to incorporate this beautiful floral and the vellum, because when they get stuck together, they kind of clash a little bit. Like, they look fine together on the layout, but when they meet down there in that corner, it looks a little bit wild and a little bit crazy. So I have to mitigate the meeting down there at the bottom. So I'm just kind of gluing them all together first, and then I'm sticking them to the page. Then I'm going to take this tag and I'm going to cover up where they meet. So I'm going to put it actually upside down right here. And now there's a nice break between the two patterns, and it doesn't look as busy down there in that corner anymore. And this is a really beautiful base to start building my layout. So I've already pulled out die cuts that I thought would work with both this and the pocket page on the other side. And I've also pulled out all of the stickers and the rub-ons and the chipboard. So I'm going to kind of go through things and pull some more stuff out that might work. I really wanted to use the rub-ons, but as you can see, they are all very coffee and cartoony a bit and bookish. And so they didn't really work great with this spread, but there are a couple really cute pattern strips, like this one that's like an ombre stripe. And I thought about putting it here, but I'm actually going to put it somewhere else, up here instead. And I'm going to cut out these ombre dots instead, and I'm going to use those on the tag, and I think they're going to look perfect there. Just a little hint of another extra pattern to create some visual interest. I know I got a lot of pattern going on here, but I always have a lot of pattern going on. My job is creating pattern and mixing pattern and all of that, so I think I'm pretty good at mixing patterns together and making it work. So these are, I'm going to also pull out these sticker sheets right here. I don't know, I think I might have been talking to someone. And I'm going to look and see if there's anything on these sticker sheets that will work. I'm going to pull out that alphabet, although I don't think I actually use it on this page. I was thinking ahead for the other side. So I really wanted to use this Choose Happy, and I start to pull it off and I break it because it's really fragile and it was stuck on there really well. So first I'm like, I'm going to put it aside. I'm just going to do something else instead. And then I'm going to come back to it and I'm going to perform some surgery and put that happy back together. So now I'm going through all of the die cuts I've already pulled out. And I'm starting to notice that there is a circle theme going on with the embellishments that I'm choosing. So I'm going to start pulling out all the circles. And I decide to really go with it. Still going through, making sure that there's nothing else I want to use besides the circles. These are some of my favorite pictures from this year. I just really love how the light is so beautiful in them, and I just really wanted to highlight them. I love both, with us both looking off and with me looking towards the camera. I think they're both really beautiful, so they both got a prize space on a 9x12 layout, and I kept them pretty large too, just because I love them so much. So now I'm going to perform surgery on this happy. It's still going to have to be really careful. I have like this little tiny sliver of the dark brown that needed to be put back on there, so I'm using tweezers to do it. This is how badly I wanted to use that happy. I'm going to stick it down, and then I'm going to perform surgery with the end of the Y there and kind of slide it underneath so that it works. And then pray that it does not fall off. I wanted to use that leaf, but I didn't like the effect it gave, so I used that yellow camera instead, which was great because it was yellow, so it worked wonderfully. And I'm feeling like there needs to be something else here, but I'm struggling with what I want to add. All of the stamps are bookish or coffee themed, so none of them were going to work. So then I'm kind of looking at things, and I decide to maybe fussy cut out some of the butterflies that I had cut off the sides of the paper and the pieces of butterflies. So first I cut out these 2 whole butterflies, and I felt like it wasn't enough. They just kind of felt really random and they didn't make much sense. And this one really gave me problems. I'm not sure why, but it did. I moved them around quite a bit. And so then I'm like, well, what about the rest of these wings? I bet that they'll be kind of cute poking out of some of the embellishments, or the embellishment clusters and photos as well. So then I'm starting to cut the wings off. Oh, that sounds bad. Poor butterflies. Starting to cut the wings and stick them under things. And now it's really, my vision for that paper is really coming together, because now the butterflies are coming off the paper and they're going up over the layout, and I really like the effect that that's giving, especially since by the time this layout was done, the only butterfly you can really see is right there in that bottom left corner. So I really wanted to make sure that I brought them out. Butterflies are kind of my thing. I have a butterfly tattoo. I really like the whole metaphor of metamorphosis and change and becoming who you are meant to be, kind of a thing. So I really wanted to make sure that the butterflies were popping off this page. Moving things around to make the butterflies work, and we are just about done here. I don't need to add any journaling to this side because I'm going to add it to the pocket side, and I'm going to call it good as soon as I figure out where I want to put this other butterfly wing. I really love how this page came out. It was the first one I did in a marathon scrapping over the weekend, so you've got lots of videos to look forward to in the next couple weeks. And yeah, this is just about done. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. My handle is @TracyMReed. That's Tracy with an I. And I will see you in the next video. All right, thank you.